All right, welcome to the Colerain-Cheviot J.E.D. annual meeting. It is 5:31 on December 19th. Is that where we're at here? All right. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Sorry, a moment of meditation, just a moment of meditation and thought for the upcoming holiday season, Christmas, New Year's, that all the folks stay safe out there, all those traveling stay safe, all those that are out of school and out of the control of their teachers and administration stay safe as well. And just a moment of thank you for all those folks that will be working those days. And there are, when you get in the business of governance, there are quite a few that give up many holidays with the families to keep everyone in that safe zone. Thank you. All right, the next thing we will do is do attendance, I guess. There are two of us here that are actual board members. Councilman Voss, right? Correct. From Cheviot? Cheviot, yeah. Yep. So he is here, and I guess, are you taking minutes, or do I need to appoint somebody for minutes?
I'll take care of the minutes.
Okay.
For before our next meeting.
All right. And I am Matt Wallert from Colerain-Township. So we have, do we have a quorum to vote on minutes, I guess?
Yes.
Okay. Because we are approving other members later in here, but I think Councilman Voss and I should be enough for quorum. So we have draft minutes from January 23rd, 2023. Councilman Voss, do you have any questions with regard to those minutes?
No, I do not.
And do you have a motion with regard to those minutes?
Yes, motion to introduce.
All right. We have a motion to introduce and approve those minutes. I will second that. And how do you vote on that?
Yes.
I vote yes. That passes 2-0. Citizens' address. Seeing we have no citizens' address, we will move on. And now we have new business. So we have two members who are going to be taking the oath of office today. The first is Ms. Steely, who was appointed to the J.E.D. board by the Colerain Township Board of Trustees at its December 10th, 2024 meeting. Ms. Steely will serve as the worker member for a 4-year term. And I believe, are you going to be swearing her in? Okay. So Ms.
If I may?
Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Steely, if you could raise your right hand, please. And just repeat after me. I, Carrie Steely, do hereby solemnly swear. Do you have your mic on?
No, I do.
We'll restart. I, Carrie Steely,
I, Carrie Steely,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I shall support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I shall support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge
and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge
the duties of a board member of the Colerain Township
the duties of a
board member
of
the Colerain Township, City of Cheviot,
City of Cheviot,
Liberty Nursing Joint Economic Development District,
Liberty Nursing Joint Economic Development District,
for the term ending December 11th, 2028,
for the term ending December 11th, 2028,
to which I have been appointed, so help me God.
to which I have been appointed, so help me God.
All right. Congratulations.
I do not, thank you.
All right, and Mr. Carpenter, if you could raise your right hand, please. I, Bruce Carpenter,
I, Bruce Carpenter,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I shall support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I shall support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge the duties
of a board member of the Colerain-Township, City of Cheviot, Liberty Nursing Joint Economic Development District,
and impartially discharge the duties of a board member of the Colerain-Township, City of Cheviot, Liberty Nursing Joint Economic Development District
for the term ending December 11th, 2028,
for the term ending December 11th, 2028,
to which I have been appointed, so help me God.
which I have been appointed, so help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Carpenter. And I will note for the record that Mr. Carpenter was appointed to the J.E.D. Board by the Colerain Township Board of Trustees at our infamous December 10th, 2024 meeting, and will serve as the business member for a 4-year term. So now that we have 4 actual voting members, the next item on the agenda is appointment of the chair of the board. Every year at the annual meeting, the J.E.D. is charged with selecting a person to chair the board. The term of the prior chair, Mr. Jeff McElravy, who was the finance officer, Colerain Township Assistant Township Administrator, expired on May 7th, 2024. It is my pleasure to nominate Mr. McElravy, should he so desire to serve again for another 1-year term as board chair.
I second.
Do you accept, sir?
I do, thank you.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Oh, I guess I didn't vote on it yet.
No, we're gonna vote now, I think. All those in favor of appointing Mr. McElravy as the board chair, please, actually, we'll do a roll call vote. I'm used to my school boards where we can do a consent vote. We have to do a roll call vote. Mr. Voss?
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Carpenter?
Yes.
And Ms. Steele, sorry.
Yes.
All right, that passes 4-0, and it was supposed to be alphabetical, but, yeah. All right.
Robert Rules of Order are just guidance, they're not law.
Now we need to do an oath of office to Mr. McElravy, and then he can take over running of this, the rest of the evening, which promises to go into the early morning of this J.E.D. meeting. Sir? Yeah.
I, Jeff McElravy,
I, Jeff McElravy,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I shall support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I shall support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge the duties
of a board chair of the Colerain Township, City of Cheviot, Liberty Nursing Joint Economic Development District,
of the Colerain Township, City of Cheviot, Liberty Nursing Joint Economic Development District,
the term ending December 11th, 2028, to which I have been appointed, so help me God.
So, I hate to interrupt. The board moved for a 1-year term rather than a 4-year term.
Okay, well, how about for a term ending on December 11th, 2025, to which you have been appointed, so help you God.
For the term ending December 11th, 2025, so help me God.
Thank you.
We'll see how he does before we extend that.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
No worries. Thank you, Board. So the next item in our packet is the result of a discussion from our annual meeting last year. As part of the prior audit from the Auditor of State, the guidance that they offered was that the J.E.D. should have its own public records policy. In the past, we had relied upon the public records policy of Colerain Township and the public records policy of the City of Cheviot for guidance as to how to respond to records requests. They found that was insufficient. They suggested that we have our own. So what is in your board packet on page 10 is a very brief public records policy for the J.E.D. saying that the entity that receives the public records request will follow their own policy in responding to that records request. That was the consensus coming out of the annual meeting last year. So that is what we drafted, and staff recommendation is adoption of the policy.
I'll motion to adopt the public records policy as found on page 10 of the meeting packet, the Colerain Township, City of Cheviot Joint Economic Development District Liberty Nursing Public Records Policy.
I'll second. Any discussion?
I'm glad we have it nice and simple, and
Looks good.
yeah, we don't really have a whole lot of records, so we really shouldn't have a long, lengthy records policy.
Any other discussion? Very good. Mr. Carpenter?
None?
Okay. And now for a vote to approve the policy. Mr. Carpenter?
Yes.
Ms. Steely?
Yes.
Mr. Voss?
Yes.
Mr. Waller?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. And the final item, at least action item, is the quarterly statements for the fourth quarter of '23 through the third quarter of '24. So this takes us back to where we were with the last meeting through the most current financial statements. These are prepared by the City of Cheviot and have been reviewed by Township staff. And is there a motion to approve those statements?
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? All right, hearing none. Mr. Carpenter?
Vote to approve?
Ms. Steely?
Approve.
Mr. Voss?
Yes.
Mr. Waller?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. All right, so there is no old business. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, very good. Mr. Carpenter?
Yes.
Ms. Steely?
Yes.
Mr. Voss?
Yes.
Mr. Waller?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, and we adjourned at 5:44. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, it's 6 o'clock. I'd like to call to order the December 19th meeting of the Colerain Enforcement Review Board. Welcome to all in attendance, both township staff, my fellow commissioners, the residents, and just a friendly reminder, please silence your electronic devices. Could we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we could have a moment of silence, I'd like to consider all of our first responders and the sacrifices that they and their families make during this holiday season as they work to protect us, that they would be kept safe. Thank you. Okay. The Code Enforcement Review Board was established to provide impartial and fair platform for reviewing disputes related to vacant properties and rental registrations within Colerain Township. SERB is a voluntary advisory committee to the Township Board of Trustees. SERB's primary objective is to hear, consider testimony, and evidence presented by property owners and residents to interpret the township's resolution related to vacant buildings and rental registration and issue recommendations regarding these issues to the Board of Trustees. This process ensures property owners and residents have an opportunity to address any concerns and resolve any disputes regarding vacant properties and rental registrations in a transparent and respectful manner. Julia, could you do a roll call, please?
Ms. Baldwin?
Here.
Ms. Ferris?
Here.
Mr. Henson,
Here.
Mr. Schaefer,
Here.
and Ms. Westfall.
Here. Commissioners, present before you tonight are the minutes from our previous meeting on November 21st, 2024. Do we have any comments or corrections?
Yes, it says that I voted yes to approve the minutes, but I abstained since I was not at the meeting that the minutes referred to.
Okay. Anything else? Could we have a motion, please?
Make a motion, we accept the minutes as amended. I'll second the motion.
Ms. Baldwin,
Yes.
Ms. Ferris,
Yes.
Mr. Henson,
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer,
Yes.
Ms. Westfall.
Yes. Next, we'd like to welcome the public to address the Code Enforcement Review Board with any concerns not listed on tonight's agenda. If you're here to speak about any of the properties on the agenda tonight, your comments will be heard during the public hearing for that property. Is there anyone who would like to speak at this time? Mr. Stewart, are you here about a property, or do you have a general? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on. Our first item of old business for vacant properties is a pass case, SERB 2421, which is 3633 Blue Rock Road. Nick?
All right, case 24-21, 3633 Blue Rock Road. The owner of record is Blue Rock Real Estate LLC, and their registered agent, according to the search, was Samuel Scoggins, I believe, is the owner of the property's attorney. You can reference OpenGov case VCNT 24-42. I sent my first letter on June 20th of this year, followed up by a letter on July 29th. And then I've sent a couple different certified letters trying to make contact and inform the owner of the meetings. One was sent on 8/29 and most recently 11/27. The most recent letter did get returned, saying undeliverable. Delivery was confirmed to the registered agent. And those letters gave today's meeting date. And I did send both of the final letters to both parties, standard mail and certified. On this one, I believe the property's vacant. You can see that the only real enclosed building on the property has paper covering the windows. If you drive by, they haven't, done business there to my knowledge in a couple years. The owner does mention in the email that he believes the cell phone tower in the back of the property removes the requirement, to register as being vacant. His opinion differs from mine on that. You can see where the Ohio Secretary of State has the registered agent listed as Samuel Scoggins. You can see the copies of my letters. There is an email included in here to Mr. Brown. That is the only communication I've had from him, was a couple quick emails. And then the new certified letters. You can see some of the photos of the property. It does look like, since we started this process, he has recently done some minor work to it. A lot of the garbage that was under the open pavilion has been cleaned up. Some of the stuff in the back of the property, if you reference the day of photos, you can see where he's put some new plywood on the pavilion and started to enclose and protect the little shed from weather. Those buildings still, they're not, whatever he's doing, he isn't finished with. but he has started to make some, notable change.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
If he tore the building down, would we say it's still vacant?
No, there wouldn't be a building to be vacant.
Okay. Is he allowed to have a cell tower on the property?
Yes.
He's not the owner of that cell tower, though, correct?
No, I'm sure that's a lease,
Right,
is what I'd imagine.
right.
Actually, my question would be, what do we do about properties that are operated seasonally? Because obviously this time of year, that even if it wasn't operating an ice cream shop, it would not be open.
But it hasn't operated for several years.
I know, I'm just
Okay.
asking.
Oh, for future, sorry.
Yeah, just something I feel we should take into account if he says he's opening in the next season. I just curious, what do we do if they're vacant for 3 to 6 months of the year? I don't remember reading that in the rules, or in the, I didn't memorize them, obviously, but I'm just curious.
If they're operating seasonally, they usually still have an office where they can actually do account management and things like that inside. If that's not the case, then they would be given an NOV, and usually by the time the time is up from that NOV, they're open. So even
Kind of skirts
one
the
way
rule.
or another, they can find a way around the notice of violation unless they're just completely not operating at all.
Okay. Good to know, thank you.
The continued construction of the pavilion and this building in the back, has that been approved by zoning and planning?
I'm not aware of him applying for anything.
Okay,
That'd be something we'd have to confirm with
okay.
one of our planners.
I don't think it really is an indication on this. Obviously, it's empty.
Right.
Okay, any more discussion?
He did, it was over a year ago, but improved the looks of it tremendously from what it had been. They had that little deck somebody built out in front that was falling apart, and it looks much nicer now than it did 2 years ago.
Yeah, he's done, a couple things. He kind of put some primer over the graffiti on the side. I think he's maybe done a little bit of work to the parking lot. It's just unfortunate that in a couple years he hasn't done anything to get a business or something in there.
Well, he at one point said he was using it as storage, correct? No, I think that was a different.
I think in one of his emails he said that he could use it as storage, which would not be an approved use on that, even if he filled out a master use plan that stated that.
Okay,
It'd be interesting to check if he has a building permit for the work he's doing on the buildings in the back.
I just checked and I don't see anything that's listed as active or complete since they started.
thank you.
So that creates another violation, doesn't it?
Not under our
Yes,
purview,
he's
but
also
yes.
been mailed violations for his signage out front.
Okay.
So what's your recommendation?
I recommend that, the board recommends to the Board of Trustees that the property is in fact vacant and should be viewed as such, and all the fines, fees, and everything assessed if he doesn't register.
I move that we accept the staff recommendation and have the property registered as vacant.
Second.
I just turned that off. Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes. Okay, our next case is new business for vacants. It's SERB 24-29 at 2766 Houston Road.
All right, 2766 Houston Road. The owner of record is Karen Geyer. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that correctly. You can reference open case VCNT 24-56. My initial letter was sent July 29th of this year, and second letter was 8/26 of this year. Final certified was sent on 9/16, then again on 11/27 of this year, giving today's date for the meeting. All mail was sent to the property address. The Hamilton County Auditor's Report shows the owner address and the tax address are the same, which was the property address. This was first reported vacant on, we did get delivery confirmation on one of the letters, but not on any of the others. It was kind of strange. But this property was first reported vacant on July 3rd, along with a tall grass complaint. It was clear the property wasn't being properly maintained. At that time, I did speak with a neighbor who told me the owner had passed away and a niece was possibly responsible for the property. I've not had any communication with anyone on this property. We did have to have our contractor cut the grass twice this year. Both times there has been a notice posted on the door and it did get removed. So I do believe there is somebody that goes to the property periodically, but I don't think they're maintaining anything.
Responding, okay.
Was there any note if the previous letters were still in the mailbox when the other notices were notices were no longer there? Sorry.
There wasn't any mail like overflowing out of the mailbox. It seems like there was newspaper that we picked up. At one point there was a political sign in the yard. Today when I drove by, if you look at the day of photos, there was a car in the driveway and it looked like there's been a security camera added. The car is not registered to the owner or anyone with the same last name. So I don't know whose that was.
So for all we know, it could just be a neighbor that is trying to help secure the property. I've seen people do that in the past.
The car came back to a street not very far away. The neighbor told me that the niece or a family member did live somewhere in the neighborhood, so it could have been them stopping by. I did knock, ring the doorbell and knocked, and did not get an answer with the car in the driveway today.
Okay.
Okay, with the license plate and you check the ownership of the car, can we try to get in touch with that person, the ownership for the car, and see if that is the niece?
I don't know if we can do that. I mean, that's a random car parked in the driveway. I don't think we would send them correspondence for a name that doesn't have a connection.
We might not be able to send correspondence, but we can drive over to where that address is and knock on the door.
Okay.
So we can, if we want to extend this out a month, I also would like to look in to see if there's power or any kind of sewage or stuff into this residence. So we'll check on water, power, and stuff like that before we come back.
Utilities are turned on.
They are still turned on, all of them?
I know the electric is.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm wondering if they just parked the car there to make
Right.
it look like somebody's living there.
Right.
Yeah.
We can also check with Rumpke for trash service if necessary.
I move that we extend this into January so you guys have a chance to look a little bit further into the possible family member that could be the person that's been there.
I second that motion.
Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes. Our next case is SERB 24-30 for 2470 Impala Drive.
So this case 24-30, 2470 Impala. The owner of record is Cincinnati Metropolitan Housing Authority. You can reference open case OpenGov case number VCNT 24-62. My initial letter was sent August 22nd of this year. Second letter was sent September 30th of this year. Final certified letter was sent November 14th of this year, giving the day's meeting date. All mail was sent to CMHA's main address as reflected on the auditor's report. It shows that the owner and tax address are the same. Delivery was confirmed there. This property was first reported vacant on August 21st of this year. At this time, the grass was tall, the windows had boards covering them, the soffit was falling down, garbage was on the side of the house, and just, overall in a state of disrepair. We sent notifications for the for the grass, I know, and then on a separate time, one of our other code enforcement officers kind of took a representative from CMHA around to show them a few different properties and pointed out the issues. As of the day, none of the issues have been addressed by CMHA, and the property looks virtually in the same condition as from the first pictures to the pictures taken today. They haven't, even as of the day, I don't think they've cleaned the mail out of the mailbox or taken the NOV off the door that was put there months ago.
Okay.
So,
What did the representative from housing that you took around to the site, the various sites, have to say?
I wasn't with them. It was one of our other code enforcement officers.
Do we know if they, I'm sorry.
They got some of at the next property, they cleaned up some of the garbage there, but still haven't made any progress over there either.
Okay, that wasn't what I was gonna ask. Thank you.
I make a motion that we declare the property vacant.
I'll second that motion.
Ms. Baldwin,
Yes.
Ms. Ferris,
Yes.
Mr. Henson,
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer,
Yes.
Ms. Westfall.
Yes. Our next property is SERB 24-31 for 6850 Acre Drive.
So 24-31, 6850 Acre Drive. The owner of this property is also Cincinnati Metropolitan Housing Authority, CMHA for short. You can reference OpenGov case number VCNT-24-67. The initial letter was sent on September 18th of this year, second letter on October 17th. The final letter was sent on November 14th of this year, giving the day's date for the meeting. Again, same as the last one, all mail was sent to CMHA. Delivery was confirmed. This property was first reported vacant on September 13th. There was a history of tall grass and building complaints. Some of the windows were boarded up. The grass wasn't really being cut. There was quite a bit of trash on that one. They did come by after Stan took them around. They cleaned up most of it, moved it to the curb, and then came by a day or two later with a truck and picked it up. As you can see in the pictures, there's still some that's left and remaining, mainly in cans and just not a ton, but it's still been left there for
Sometime.
significant period of time. You can see the auditor's report, all the letters, and delivery confirmations from the certified mail. As of the day, they still had not removed the NOV from the door, and there's still, trash present in the driveway.
And not that we're handling it at this current meeting, but they has also failed to register as a rental into this, for this property. I didn't see the last one, but they have not registered this property as a rental either.
I don't know about anybody else's opinion, but Metropolitan Housing knows what they need to do. I just don't have as much tolerance for them as just a consumer that may not understand as well.
I agree. And it's not like it's just one case here.
Just wanted to put that out there.
No, they are one of our biggest offenders of this, and also of the rental registration. They feel that they don't need to rental or register certain properties, and or they disagree with the fee that we charge. So they have openly said that to us.
They feel that they're above it.
I move that we accept the staff recommendation on this property.
I'll second it.
Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Ms. Oh my God, I just forgot your last name. Westfall?
Yes. Okay, our next property is Serb 24-32 for address 6938 Allett Avenue.
All right, 24-32, 6938 Allett Avenue. The owner of record is Derek Stewart and Antoinette Lamont. You can reference OpenGov case number VCNT 24-65. The first letter was sent on August 27th of this year. Second was sent on September 30th of this year. The final letter was sent on November 14th of this year, giving today's date. All mail was sent to both the owner and the tax address as reflected on the Hamilton County Auditor's Report. I do believe we had delivery confirmation on that. This property was first reported vacant on August 26th. A neighbor reported it as vacant and in violation of the tall grass. I did speak with the neighbor when I was there. He stated that he had not seen anyone there in quite a while and that the yard had been let go. In addition to the vacant and tall grass complaint, we have had some police runs there in the past. I have not received any communication from any of the listed owners since we started sending the letters. You can see copies of the letters, the auditor's report, and the tracking for the certified mail.
Okay. Mr. Stewart, would you like to speak, please? Sure, come up.
One
Make
second,
sure
I
the
gotta,
mic's on.
sorry, I gotta swear you in first. Go ahead, stand up there, there's a little button on the bottom of the mic.
It should be on if the light's on.
Okay, if you could raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Derek Stewart. 6938 is my home. Wanted to be my forever home. Unfortunately, in February of this year, this year, because we're still in 2024, there was a disagreement between, I'm sorry, can you hear me? Okay. Between me and my wife. On that day, I was removed from the home. The case is being appealed. There's an appeal date in October, but the reason that I personally have not been there is because I'm restricted from being at the residence. My dream, my prayer is that I will return home. My wife, she has relocated to Cleveland, Ohio, but my son, who is 16, he goes to Colerain High School, an 11th grader. He's in and out of the home every day. The bills are paid. The mortgage is up to date. The grass, because I haven't been there, I had no idea, because I haven't had any contact with my soon-to-be wife since February. But when I received notice that the yard and the grass was completely in disarray, I did rectify it. This is my home, and my prayer and my desire is to return home. I'm just restricted at this time, presently, from being in the home.
I maybe didn't understand, but you said that,
Let me stop you real quick.
okay.
You don't have to get into details or anything.
Fine.
Are you subject to a protection order?
The protection, I'm on a stay away right now.
Yeah.
So-
Don't let me just ask questions so you don't say anything else. You know what I mean? Is it through a criminal case?
It is.
Okay. At present, he is precluded by law from going to that home. Okay? The only way he can be relieved from that is if his attorney applied to the court asking for the protection order to be changed. So he's not allowed to go to this house.
Okay.
Or else it would be a violation of law, and he would be subject to arrest, looking at 180 days in jail.
Okay.
So I think everyone should take that into consideration with how you guys want to handle this.
Right.
Do you know when your court case is that would bring some conclusion to this?
So I do know for a fact, like as I've stated, my appeal date is on January the 7th. The problem is that I ran into, because they were letting me go back home in October, but my wife is still stating to the court of law that she still lives here. And based upon the evidence and the letters and the way that the yard looked, no one is living there. So I basically have to wait until either the appeal or the completion of the terms of this probation, which is actually April the 5th of 2025.
Okay, so your case has been completed. You have a stay-away order as a condition of probation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, which that would make it even more complicated. He'd have to hire an attorney to then file with the court to get his probation terms changed to allow him to go back to the home. If he goes back to the home, it would be a violation of his probation.
Okay, at one point you said that your son was living there.
He's
and
not living there.
He's not living there now.
He goes there after school
Okay.
because I'm not allowed on
the
Alex
property?
Avenue. I pick him up on Banning, which is the neighboring street,
Okay.
after school.
Okay.
Do you have a recommendation on how we should handle
At a
this?
loss, what,
We have 2 listed owners on the property, is my understanding, correct?
Right,
By law, he's not allowed to be there.
right.
Right.
I think if you guys wanted to, you could reinitiate the proceedings and cite the other listed owner and have them come and answer for the property being vacant.
The only thing is that with them still being married, they would still ultimately be the thing. But I agree with him that she's the one that's in control of the residence right now. I say we set this one out for a little bit and we'll and
also
see how it plays out for him.
We'll also need to check, I believe you. We want to check court records and make sure that that's actually what's going on
Right.
here.
I brought a copy just in
Thank
case
you.
you asked.
Okay, how would the board feel about moving it out like 60 days so that he has time to run the process?
I think we just, if you wanted a staff recommendation right now, is we would just drop this one and, revisit it possibly sometime in the
April?
spring or when there's been, ample time for progress to be made on a complicated situation.
how do we?
Yeah, and I'll just say, I'm looking at the, what's essentially called the judge's sheet, but it says stay away from 6938 Allett Avenue as a condition of his probation.
Does it give an end date?
Motion to stay sentence pending appeal is overruled. No, it does not have there'd be another sheet that would say how long his probation lasts for, but considering this is in May of 2024,
Did you not
how
say,
long is your probation for?
It was for a year.
A year, yeah, that is pretty consistent in my experience, that it would be a year for this type of offense.
Can we move it to June of next year? So it doesn't completely fall off our radar and be sure that it's taken care of when he's able to?
Well, and my idea was that we move it out till, say, June. But if he communicates with Nick that the process and where we are, that we could, at that meeting, we'll just close it out. But we need your communication.
And I do, if I had known,
I
I
understand.
wasn't allowed to
I
do
understand.
anything. It just so happened that my son, when he went, he's 16, so when he went home from school, he called me
Okay.
and said that there was a yellow note on the door, and I said, please get it and give it to me.
Give Nick your contact information. That way you don't have to worry about going to the house to check mail or anything. Yeah.
We understand. We're just asking you to communicate with us so that we know what's going on. And we wish you the best.
For a staff concern, would it be easier for you guys if we dropped it or just moved it to like middle of next year? I don't know what
As
you
long
guys
as
are
he,
doing in the background.
I am fine with dropping it as long as he gives us his contact info and stays in touch. I think this is one more headache that he has to worry about, and it's not like it's not gonna come up again if he doesn't take care of it.
It's a problem, yeah.
So, and he's been very thoughtful and came through and put all his business out there just so we understand, and I commend him for that and at least showing up. So I'm willing to let him his actions speak for himself.
We appreciate.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't realize that was in our purview to be able to say we dropped the case or moved to drop the case. So I honestly didn't know that. So it hadn't really come up before.
Well, I think the vote would technically be just rejecting staff recommendation to register.
Okay, so it wouldn't be, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
just
Okay.
reject the recommendation
That
and
makes
then
more
start.
sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay. I move to reject the recommendation of the staff to register this property as vacant.
I second that motion.
Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes. We thank you for coming and letting us know what's going on. If you'll communicate with Nick, then we'll just wish you the best.
If I may just want, is there any way, I believe there was someone that made a recommendation that said if they could contact her or Mrs. Stewart to.
It's a suggestion. I'm not your attorney or anything of that nature, but you probably shouldn't ask people to contact her on your behalf or anything. Yeah, we'll figure out the next steps with the property.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, the next item of new business is the 2025 SERB meeting schedule date. All of our meetings will begin at 6 o'clock on the third Wednesday of the month for all of 2025. Is that just an informational, or do we need to vote on that?
No, I don't. Yeah, this is just a notice. I don't think there's anything to vote on.
Okay, what's the question?
This year we had a number of occasions where we pushed it back a day. Are any of these not on the originally scheduled time?
No, our schedule has been shared with BZA and also the zoning board. There's one location where they have to go and sign up. All of our dates have been put in there, and it should be good to go.
Okay, thank you.
All of these should be the third Wednesday of every month.
Yeah. Okay. Seeing no more business for tonight, are there any updates from last month's cases? Okay, not, okay. Our next meeting will be held at 6 p.m. on January 15th. That's a Wednesday. I'd like to thank my fellow commissioners, staff, and all present tonight. All in favor for adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We are closed out at 6:37.